This footnote is about things not to say to someone who has just had a miscarriage. And of course, this comes with a big content warning because I am going to talk in graphic detail about pregnancy loss. So, first, how does this relate to the content of this book? It's the whole manifestation thing. It's the whole asking the universe thing. It's the whole throwing things in people's faces, people who have experienced a tragedy, and somehow suggesting that it's their relationship with the universe that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit is infuriating. So from personal experience, and I do believe that we've made a footnote or talked about this a little bit on the podcast in a different context. I have one daughter. I have had 5 pregnancies. So the pregnancy that so before I had my daughter, I had 4 miscarriages. It was a shitty time. It sucked. People tried to be helpful in ways that were actually really damaging most of the time. But I'll tell you, some of the most damaging statements. Let me just give you some examples.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It wasn't the right time. Saying things like that.
Oh.
Or like, you need to ask the universe, or the universe didn't think you were ready. It's like, are you kidding me? And this was especially infuriating coming from people who had children. It's like, okay, tell me what it is that makes your relationship with the universe so much healthier that you were like gifted this living child that is better than my relationship with the universe.
You're trying to work over God's plan. Like, you need to just accept what his plan is for you.
Everything happens for a reason. It's like, okay, so when I punch you in the face, are you going to be happy with the reason that happened?
God's plan is to tell you how carrying children is women's only purpose, and then make you a barren spinster because that's your role.
A childless cat lady. Because, they're the real threat to democracy.
No, I find it very difficult to deal with people's religious... I don't know, like... I know it comes from a good place often, but there's so much cognitive dissonance and so much of it where you're picking and choosing which bits you want to listen to. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told things like, you just need to trust that the universe has the answers. You just need to trust the universe. Trust. And it's like, do you think that the problem is that I don't want this enough, and the universe is hearing that and saying, oh, you're pregnant? Yeah, psych.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I don't understand how anyone can think that that's an okay thing to say to someone.
Well, the extra cruelty of getting pregnant and then losing it too, like, that's an extra step as to not even conceiving.
Yeah.
I haven't been there, I don't know, but to me it feels like it would be very hard.
Very hard. Because it made it that much more challenging to become emotionally invested in, like, the next pregnancy. It's tragic. And even the pregnancy with my daughter, Qualia, I was told on 5 separate occasions that I was about to miscarry her as well.
Oh, God.
And there's not a single day that goes by that I don't think of that in some way. Sometimes just, looking at her little face and being so incredibly grateful that she is here and she is thriving and she is just, she's just awesome. She's the coolest person I've ever met. But in no way am I going to credit the universe with finally answering my prayers or whatever with that. and going like, oh, I finally got it right. I finally manifested appropriately in order for this to happen. It's like, okay, so I could ask the universe for any number of things, and it's just going to pick and choose what it gives me.
Yeah.
Based on how well I articulate myself. It's like, I'm sorry, I have a master's degree in applied linguistics. I'd like to say I'm a pretty articulate person. Even though I sometimes struggle with articulate as a compliment. I've got the receipts to prove that I am. It's, you know, when people would say things like, no, you have to be more specific. You have to say exactly what you want. It's like, I want a kid that's alive. Like, can I just have that, please?
Yeah. You know what I do with other people that play games with me and don't, like, be clear and just, like, decide whether or not they're going to take what I say truthfully or not? I get them the fuck out of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you had those experiences. That it must have been a real... Yeah. It's icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The only thing I can possibly, like, even slightly relate it to is when, you know, I wasn't going with God's plan to be a girl, and I just didn't want it hard enough.
But you did manifest the money to then, like, get your surgery, right?
Oh, yeah, but that's me just, like, defying God. That's me defying the universe.
The source energy, the mother load.
I do find it very hard to do that whole viewing suffering as something that was, like, put upon you intentionally by some being. It having happened to you because of the systems around you and, like, this complex part of society. That makes sense to me. Humans are complex and imperfect, and it is sometimes intentional, sometimes not. But, like, it's not this... If the... whatever. Don't tell me some great being did it to me, because then I'm going to be angry.
Yeah. And not only that, it's like, okay, so let's imagine that this is all completely true. What is it about you that makes you the vehicle for transferring this information from the force to little old me? What is it that has allowed you, that bestowed upon you the power to say, oh, Leslie, you just didn't want it enough? It's like, tell me that every time I was, like, in a ball of tears and sweat and rage after each of my losses, or the numbness, emotional numbness that came with that. Did I attract that shit? Tell me that, like, every time I got wheeled into the ultrasound room at Royal Brisbane Hospital, and they did the scan after we mopped up all the bleeding, and they said, yep, there's nothing there. Tell me that I attracted that. The withdrawal emotionally from, like, my social circles and everything else that occurred as a result of each of those losses, little by little, I fought through that shit. Over and over and over again. But then for someone to say after the next loss that it's like, oh, you know, there's nothing you could have done. But next time, try this. It's like, okay, so which one is it? The universe wants me to have this thing or it doesn't? Because you seem to have, like, a whole lot of supplements and shit that you want to sell me. That are what, universe proof? It's like, how does this work?
You're making a pact with the devil.
Yeah.
They're
It's
devil
like,
supplements.
Oh, next time, you know, just try not to stress too much, because that's bad for the baby. That's bad for pregnancy. That's bad for your body. It's like, Okay. So the problem was that I had too much stress. It would really help if you got the fuck out of my face, because I find that quite stressful. And it's like,
You know what makes a pregnancy less stressful?
What's
is
that?
having had a whole lot of miscarriages previously, because that would totally not have put trauma in your brain
yeah.
to stress about.
Yeah. People don't understand. Like, sometimes the best thing to say is to not say anything sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, when you do re-traumatize someone who's gone through something so horrible, and then it's like, oh, but I was just trying to help. It wasn't my intention to hurt you more. It's like, your intention doesn't matter. Because you can walk away thinking, oh, but I apologize, so it's okay. Meanwhile, I'm feeling like crap, and I don't want you in my life anymore. And lost my train of thought. I get fired up about this stuff.
I'm definitely one of these people that tries to offer solutions when someone is going through something.
Yeah.
It's taken me learning experiences of going, oh, I hurt someone's feelings. I shouldn't do that again. And I do sometimes still catch myself like about to be like doing it again. And I'm like, oh, wait, no. These are those times when I'm supposed to just be there if they need me.
Yeah. And that's the key as well. Sometimes people will say, like, because I talk about this a lot. Sometimes people will say, like, oh, well, then what are we supposed to say? You know, if everyone's afraid of offending people all the time, then, like, what, we're not supposed to be helpful? We're not supposed to show we care? It's like, hey, I'm not saying you have to sit there in complete stone-faced silence and just have zero reaction whatsoever. I'm just saying that it's not about you.
Yep.
It's about the person who has experienced this tragedy. You need to let them take the lead in these conversations. You need to provide a listening ear, not a yammering mouth.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on the kind of relationship you have with the person, the best thing to say might be, holy shit, I'm sorry that happened. Or holy shit, that really sucks. Or you don't deserve that.
Yep.
Sometimes it's worth asking, like, is there some way I can support you?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want? Do you want to talk about it? If they say, no, I don't want to talk about it, then you don't fucking talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
And you don't need to jam meaning into everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is no meaning.
Yeah.
It's just the way the world is.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, the luck of the draw sometimes. Miscarriage is one of these, like, mysterious things in some cases. It's not always because of this thing or always because of that thing. It's not always because of some sort of genetic anomaly. It's not always because, you know, this thing or that thing. So people shouldn't pretend like they have the answer as to why it happened. And people shouldn't like throw their kind of religious beliefs into it either. It's like, oh, but that little angel is with God. It's like, well, fuck that. Give me my angel back then. It's like, if this is what your religion is like telling you is okay to say to people, then I'm not okay with that. And you need to just go away.
What you find comforting may be the opposite to someone else.
Exactly.
And it's important to actually be sensitive to that.
Yes. And remember, it's not about you. Whoever has experienced that tragedy, regardless of whatever affirmations they didn't say properly, it is up to them to choose who they want in their corner, who they want to turn to for support. If they want space, you give them that space.
Yeah.
Because it is not anyone's duty to walk you gently through their traumas.
Yes. I just spoke to a friend about this, about offering a menu of support where you just go, here are some things I can offer. If you would like any of them, balls in your court, just let me know. If you would like any of these things, just sit and listen. Practical advice or help. Like, you know, money or what, like there's all sorts of things in certain situations you can offer, and it's just like, I liked that because for spicy folk, we struggle a little bit with this too because it's very nuanced.
Yeah.
And so I've just literally written down a menu of support of things that I can offer to people in times of need. And if, asking someone how you can actually be there.
Yeah.
That's the only step. Ask someone if they would like you to be there and how they would like you to be there for them.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I wish you had been around during those times, Mika. I feel like you would have had like the best little like soft place to land for me.
Me now, me 10 or so years ago, maybe not. I was still I was definitely still in my learning a lot stage.
Right. Okay. Well, I take it back then.
Yeah. We all are growing.
Yeah.
So those people maybe now have grown a lot too. Who knows?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. Anyway, so my big takeaway with this is that in all this talk about how we attract the good things and the bad things in our life, read the room. Or in this case, read the womb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if someone's telling you that they've just experienced the loss of a pregnancy or the loss of a child or like a terminal cancer diagnosis or something,
Yeah.
don't tell them it's their friggin' fault. Unless you really want to lose this person from your life forever.
Yeah.
You may think you're helping, you're not. You're not.
Yes.
I don't know. Some people might like that shit, but no, I would err on the side of not re-traumatizing people.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for telling me.